Silly me, I didn't see you there. Welcome back to my podcast. My name is Nicholas Petty, and today's topic is going to be on, mitosis and meiosis. But before we get into that, let's take a look at today's sponsor.
Shopping online can be a real hassle. You've got to do actual work to find the best deal. By the time you've jumped from tab to tab, comparing prices and trying coupon codes, you're sick of shopping before you've even bought anything. Enter Honey, the world's most popular money-saving browser extension. With our free browser extension, you don't waste time or energy scouring. We do all the hard work in the background, automatically comparing millions of prices and discount codes, then instantly applying the savings to your cart. With Honey, you'll get the best possible price on everything, every time. Like that Instant Pot pressure cooker you've had your eye on for a while, or the new Nintendo Switch gaming system, or a last-minute wedding gift for that friend you haven't really spoken to since high school. Because with tens of thousands of exclusive Honey partners, there are millions of ways to shop smarter and save a bundle. Plus, on sites like Amazon, you'll get an even better shopping experience, because Honey automatically finds the best price from the best seller. And it lets you take a deep dive through months of price history. Not ready to buy yet? Add a product to Honey's drop list and get notified when the price drops. Bye-bye to buyer's remorse. Best of all, Honey learns what you like as you shop, so you'll get customized recommendations on exclusive great deals. There's so many ways to effortlessly save, it's no wonder that over 6 million people like you have used Honey to save hundreds of millions of dollars. So try Honey for free today, then kick back, relax, and start saving. Cheers to that.
Yeah, so I've been a long-time user of Honey, and I definitely recommend you install it. It's literally only 2 clicks and completely free. No reason you shouldn't install it. Saves you money all the time. So we're going to hop right back into talking about mitosis and meiosis and what kind of processes they really are. So now, even though they sound very similar, they're actually completely different. So first we're going to look at mitosis. So we have to break it down by looking at the 4 different stages of it as well as interphase. So interphase is basically where it's more of just preparation for income. It seems we have a call from one of our viewers. Let's take this call and see what they have to ask.
Hello?
Hey man, how's it going tonight? This is podcast number 420 with Nicholas Petty. How may I help you?
Yes, hello. This is Abdul.
Nice to meet you, Abdul. What type of question you got?
I have a question on the interface, no?
Yes, interface. That's what we're just getting into, man. What can I help you with?
Yeah, I wonder is the interface is part of the division of the cells?
Oh, dude, that's that's a really good question, man. So actually, interphase is not part of cell division. It's more of just preparation for it, as the DNA in the cell is copied to make 2 identical full sets of chromosomes. So no, it's not part of it. It's just preparation.
Yes, this is good. That's really good. Very good.
No problem, Abdul, man.
Okay, yeah, I love podcasts. It's so good. It's very good.
Thank you, Abdul. Really appreciate it, man. Where are you from again?
Okay, goodbye.
Okay. Yeah. Nice to see you, Abdul. Goodbye, man.
Yes, goodbye.
What a really nice viewer, man. Abdul, guys. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I mean, you let me do what I really like to do, these podcasts, to help feed my family. Once we get to 100 subscribers, I'll hopefully be able to move out of my mom's basement. That's one of my longtime dreams. But other than that, after we talk about interphase, yeah, so it's basically just preparation for what actually mitosis is, the 4 stages. So that's about it for interphase. My friend Javier, he has a couple of animated pictures that he's going to put up right about now of interphase, as well as every other phase of mitosis going on from this. So next we're going to talk about prophase. So prophase is the longest of all the phases in mitosis, and it's a really important phase. So the chromosomes condense into X-shaped structures that can be easily seen under a microscope, and this is all in prophase, by the way. So each chromosome is compounded composed of two sister chromatids containing identical genetic information. So the chromosomes pair up so that both copies of chromosome 1 are together and both copies of chromosome 2 are together, and so on. At the end of prophase, the membrane around the nucleus in the cell dissolves away, releasing the chromosomes. Also, there's spindle fibers consisting of the microtubules and other proteins extend across the cell between the centrioles as they move to opposite poles of the cell, which will be once again shown by my friend Javier in his animated picture. So yeah, prophase, once again, really important that it's the longest phase of mitosis. It's actually my favorite phase because it says the word pro in it, and I really like that word. Next, we're going to talk about metaphase, which this one is the shortest phase of all the phases in mitosis. So metaphase is when the chromosomes line up neatly end to end along the equator of the cell. So an easy way to remember this is metaphase starts with M and middle starts with M, because it's going to line up in the middle of the cell. The centrioles are now at the opposite sides of the poles, with the spindle fibers extending from them, and the spindle fibers attach to each other, attach to each of the sister chromatids, not to each other, excuse me. So that's basically metaphase and prophase. Metaphase, once again, my friend Javier, I'll show them the image right about now to get their visual stimulus areas of the brain operating and so forth. After metaphase, we're going to go into anaphase. Now, this is my least favorite. Why? I don't really know. I just don't like this part of mitosis. So anaphase is when the sister chromatids are pulled apart by the spindle fibers, which pulls one chromatid to one pole and the other chromatid to the opposite pole. So this is when they just break off and go to the other ends of the pole, and this is anaphase, and that's the only part of anaphase. Finally, there's telophase as well as cytokinesis. These two are my second favorite because they just sound really cool. So telophase is when at each of the poles of the cell, full set of chromosomes gather together. A new membrane is formed around the chromosomes to create two new nuclei. So now it's still one cell, just two nuclei, and then the single cell then pinches in the middle to form two separate daughter cells containing a full set of chromosomes within the nucleus, and this process is cytokinesis. So these are the four phases of mitosis, as well as the beforehand interphase, which my friend Abdul clearly showed is not part of cell division, which again, appreciate you, Abdul, God bless. So when my friend at the end, my friend Javier will show the full cycle up right now, and that's pretty much mitosis. So now that we're done with mitosis, let's get on to meiosis, which gets real funky up in here. Yeah, mitosis is... wow, it is crazy, guys. We'll get into that right after this ad break.
%40 of men over 40 may have suffered some degree of erectile dysfunction. If you suffer from this condition, thankfully, there are a range of treatments that could help you. So, enjoy your love life again. Go to 40over40.com and see your doctor. Talk, test, treat today.
Welcome back, guys, from that short ad break. Since we just talked about mitosis, let's just quickly go over that as a recap for all the viewers out there. So this is where just one cell divides once into two identical cells. The major purpose of mitosis is for growth, as well as to replace the worn out cells in our body. Moving on to meiosis. Now I'm gonna keep it honest here. Meiosis is gonna get quite crazy. There's not one meiosis, but actually two, and the first meiosis does look quite similar to mitosis, but once again there are some differences. And then meiosis 2 that's where it gets crazy. So in meiosis 1, there is prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, so on. And then in meiosis 2, there's prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, and so on. There's only one interphase, which is the exact same as the interphase in mitosis, and that is right before meiosis 1. The main difference between meiosis and mitosis is mitosis is just copying regular cells or just cells in our body, while meiosis is producing our sex cells, which includes eggs in females and sperm in males. So first let's talk about meiosis 1. Meiosis 1 in interphase, first of all, is once again the same as mitosis, so the DNA in the cell is copied, and it's more just prepared for meiosis. On the outside of the nucleus, there are 2 centrosomes, and these centrosomes, out of them extend microtubules. This is important for prophase 1. So in prophase 1, the copied chromosome condensed into X-shaped structures the same as mitosis. Each chromosome is composed of 2 sister chromatids. The chromosome pair up so that both copies of chromosome 1 are together and both copies of chromosome 2 together. The thing that's different from mitosis and prophase is the pairs of chromosomes may then exchange bits of DNA in the process called recombination or crossing over. Now this is really important. It will be further explained in mitosis 2, but you definitely want to keep this in mind. At the end of prophase 1, the membrane around the nucleus cell dissolves, releasing the chromosomes, and then the spindles consisting of microtubules and other proteins extend across the cell between the centrioles. Metaphase 1 for meiosis, the chromosome pairs line up in the middle, so this is where you talk about metaphase middle, same thing as mitosis. The centrioles are now on the opposite poles of the cell with the spindles extending from them, and then the spindle fibers attached to one chromosome of each pair. Anaphase 1 is also different from anaphase 1 and meiosis is different from anaphase 1 and mitosis. The pair of chromosomes are pulled apart by the spindle, which pulls one chromosome to one pole in the cell and the other chromosome to the opposite pole. And then in meiosis 1, the sister chromatids stay together, which this does not happen in mitosis or meiosis 2, which will be shown later as well. Then finally, telophase 1 and cytokinesis. The chromosomes complete their move to the opposite poles of the cell. At each pole of the cell, a full set of chromosomes gather together. A membrane forms around the new set of chromosomes to create 2 new nuclei, and then it's the same idea of when the single cell pinches in the middle to form 2 different daughter cells, and this is where the full set, and then each of the daughter cells have a full set of chromosomes with a nucleus. So this is the first part of meiosis for when once again producing or copying sex cells, and then the final part is cytokinesis. So if you compare mitosis to meiosis, they are very similar. Did we just get a donator? Oh gosh. Oh, wow. Thank you. Wait. And the subscription. Oh, now I have to read this name. I like hot women. I hope I said that correctly. Man, dude, I really appreciate the subscription, dog. How many? We're at 69 subscribers now. Our goal is 100, so one step closer. You just provided 1/100th of our goal. Really appreciate that. I like hot women. Once again, man, you really help it. And then the donation, totally for $5. Can we get a donation dance? Let's get that donation dance going. Yeah, but guys, I mean, any donation does help. I thank that guy again for the donation and subscription. It just helps me get one step closer to my dream. All the viewers out there tune in every night to my podcast. Really appreciate you guys too. Any little support helps, of course. Well, with that being said, we're just going to hop back into talking about meiosis. So we just went over meiosis 1, and just to sum it up, it's pretty much like mitosis. So meiosis 1 is just where we talk about sex cells instead of just our other cells in our body, and these sex cells are now duplicating, and which is the first part of meiosis, where they just split once, and now we're going to talk about the second division, which happens in meiosis 2. So once again, as I stated in the beginning, there is no interphase in meiosis 2. It's just before meiosis 1. So we're going to hop right on into prophase 2. So now that there are 2 daughter cells, the chromosomes condense again into the visible X-shaped structures. The membranes around the nucleus in the daughter cells dissolve, the centrioles duplicate, and the spindles form again. So this is just the prophase, a little bit different than metaphase, meiosis 1 and mitosis. It's a little bit different, the prophase. Now we're going to hop into metaphase 2. So this is when the 2 daughter cells of the chromosomes light up in the end-to-end along the equator. So the third time now, it's M for middle and my metaphase. The centrioles are now at opposite poles in each of the daughter cells, and the spindle fibers at each pole of the cell attached to each of the sister chromatids. So metaphase 2 is quite similar to the other metaphase 2s, but now we're going to talk about anaphase 2. So the sister chromatids are then pulled to opposite poles due to the action of the spindles. The separated chromatids are now individual chromosomes. And that's basically the end of anaphase 2, short and sweet, which leads us into telophase 2 and cytokinesis. There's a lot of steps in this part. So the chromosome complete their move to the opposite cells of the poles. At each pole of the cell, a full set of chromosomes gather together. A membrane forms around each set of chromosomes to create 2 new cell nuclei. This is the last phase of meiosis. Quite sad, to be honest, and how cell division is not complete without another round of cytokinesis. Once cytokinesis is complete, there are 4 granddaughter cells, each with half a set of chromosomes. In males, these 4 cells are all sperm cells. In females, one of the cells is an egg cell, while the other 3 are polar bodies, small cells that do not develop into eggs. So that's basically meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 in a nutshell. To sum everything up, instead of just one cell dividing once, it divides twice into 4 daughter cells, and instead of just using regular cells, we are talking sex cells. All the pictures that were provided and all the editing in this video was from Javier Alvarado. He's a great man, great editor. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say, guys? Mitosis, meiosis. This is my broadcast. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Broadcast number 420. With that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you.